Hello, I'm Lindsay Crossness, Director of Education for the Orpheum Theater Group, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the second in our series of In Their Shoes, where we talk with alumni of Orpheum Theater programming who are currently working in the performing arts across the country. Also joining me are members of our Student Advisory Board, the Orpheum Star Council, and they will be submitting questions for our guest today as well. And so our guest today, so excited, is Ashley McCormack, who is currently in her apartment in New York City, as we are all in our homes. Just came off the tour of Finding Neverland. Ashley, it is so great to see you.
It's
Hello.
so good to see you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, I'm thrilled. And we're very excited to talk to you. So can you tell us a little bit about when did you start performing, and when did you know this is what I got to do with my life?
Okay, goodness. I started performing a long time ago. I believe I was 4 when I started voice lessons. But actually, the moment that I knew that this is what I had to do with my life, I was at the Orpheum and I saw the national tour of Annie. It came through the Orpheum. My mom took me, and I remember sitting in the balcony watching the show and just being so blown away by this traveling touring production, this Broadway quality show. And I leaned over to my mom. I was probably like 6 or 7 at the time. And I said, Mom, you have to go backstage and tell them that I want to be in that show. I, of course, at 6 or 7, didn't know that that's how you get to be in a national tour. But that's when I knew. I just wanted to be on that stage performing like all those other little girls. And so I guess the rest is history.
That's awesome. I don't think I knew that story.
Yes. It all started at the Orpheum.
I love it. So great. Couldn't have scripted that better. So you graduated. I should say that you're a graduate of Southern Baptist Educational Center, currently known as North Point Christian School.
Go Trojans.
In one of our participating High School Musical Theater Awards schools, yay. But also a graduate of the University of Alabama, where you
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, where you study musical theater.
Yes.
So since then, you've done regional theater.
Mm-hmm.
You've worked with Princess Cruise Lines,
Mm-hmm.
and you've toured. What would you say has taught you the most about yourself professionally? What experience?
Well, I feel like with every show that I've done, the cruise that I did, the tour that I just finished, I feel like you take a little bit away from every single gig, but I think what they honestly have all taught me in some form or fashion is that you are never finished learning. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many shows you've done, how lengthy your resume is, you always have something to learn. And that's pretty inspiring to me. Even, well, as soon as we get done with this coronavirus thing, I'm going to be back taking voice lessons and going to dance classes and doing workshops and things like that, because even at 30 years old, well, I'm so much older than all of you on this Zoom meeting, I still have a lot to learn, so we're never finished honing our craft and perfecting our skills as an artist.
Yes, that's great. Amazing. So I'm going to throw it to Star Council. Any questions for Ashley at this point?
I have a question. Yes.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi. I was wondering what advice that you could give us, that way we can help jumpstart our career if that's what we're wanting to pursue, musical theater, after college or through college.
Absolutely. Hey, Kaylee. Thanks for being here today. Great question.
Thank you.
Gosh, there is a lot of advice I could give y'all. But I think the advice that has rung true for me, especially in the last 2 years, is if this is what you want to do, if this is your passion, don't let anything or anybody stop you from pursuing that. Pursue your dreams with your whole heart, with every fiber of your being. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be successes, and there's going to be failures, which really aren't failures. Those are just ways that we learn about ourselves as a person and as an artist. But if this is your passion, whatever your passion is, never stop pursuing it, no matter what. I hope that made sense.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So yeah, Ashley, you mentioned that there are disappointments along the way, and so how do you deal with those?
Oh goodness. Well, anytime I'm disappointed by not getting a call back or not getting cast in a show, of course I lean into my family and my friends for advice and guidance because they're my support system, right? But what you need to know, and I'm sure what a lot of you already know, is that in this industry, there's going to be some rejection, maybe a lot of rejection, especially up here. There are so many people up here in New York that are trying to do this and they want to be on Broadway, and it's incredible, but there's so many of us, right? And so not every show is going to be for you. So you might get 20 no's, but then you're going to get a yes. Okay, it's just a matter of time. You have to trust the journey, trust the process, and just know that, yeah, there's going to be disappointments, but there's going to be a lot of joy and happiness, and you will have your success eventually.
Taylor Ann, did you have a question?
Hey, I'm Taylor Ann.
Hey, Taylor.
I was just wondering, like, what your best audition tip for somebody who's like wanting to do this and pursue this would be?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. My best audition tip, and I was actually just told this about a year and a half ago. It took me a long time to really figure out perfecting going into the audition room, which really is never a perfect process, right? We're always still learning. But I think the best advice tip that I was given about auditions was know who you are as a person and as an artist. Know what you're good at. Don't try to be everything. There's a lot of people out there that say, you need to be versatile. You need to be able to sing all different types of music, be able to dance all different types of styles. I am not a dancer, okay? And I know that, and I'm proud of it, and that's okay. We're not all dancers. We're not all gorgeous sopranos. Know what you're good at and perfect those skills. That way, when you walk into the audition room, you know who you are, and you're confident in that, and that's gonna read across the table to that casting director.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
So on the tour of Finding Neverland, you covered and understudied quite a few roles. What does that mean? What does that entail?
Okay. All right. So being an understudy, first of all, it's hard. I covered 5 roles in addition to having my own track, 3 of those roles were principal women. So basically that just meant that I'd had to know my part in the show. And I also had to know all of their songs, their blocking, their choreography, their quick changes, which props they take on and off the stage. I had to know their entire track in and out and be ready at any moment if any of them got sick, if they couldn't go on for some reason. I always had to be ready to do that. For every single role that I covered multiple times. I went on for, if you're familiar with the show, Sylvia, I think 16 times. Actually, kind of a funny and scary story. She got injured during a show. It happened during intermission. So we had already done act 1 and she got injured during intermission, and my stage manager turned to me and gave me a microphone and said, I need you to get ready, go get dressed. So I had to take off my ensemble clothes, put on my Sylvia wig and my dress and everything, and I went on in act 2 as Sylvia. So it's a thrilling experience. For me, it's fun because I feel like you never know what's gonna happen and you never know what role you're gonna be playing, but it's hard and you always have to be prepared.
That sounds terrifying. I'm glad
it was.
I'm glad you love it. So you're living in New York. What's been the biggest challenge of moving there?
Goodness. Well, I love New York. I love living here. The city is absolutely incredible. If any of y'all ever visit and you want to meet for coffee, let me know. But I think what people don't, so New York is like what, the city of dreams, right? People come here to pursue careers, to pursue their dreams, to pursue their goals. But especially if you're in musical theater, if you're in the theater industry, I'm not sure that everyone tells you the hard parts to expect. The fact that you're going to get here and you're going to be so excited, and you're going to go to your first open call and you're going to walk in and there's going to be 600 other girls or guys that are there all gunning for the same parts. A lot of them are going to look exactly like you, maybe even sound like you do. There's going to be mornings where you're sitting outside at 4 a.m. in the freezing cold. It's pouring down rain. You're sitting on a trash bag so your butt doesn't get wet. Yes, I have done that. just so that you can go in and sign your name and hope to get seen that day. There's going to be days where you're waiting literally all day long to get to go in and sing 16 bars, and they don't get to you before 5 o'clock. So that sounds horrible, I know, right? There's a lot of craziness, and the industry is hard, but there's a lot of opportunity. There's ways to be rewarded through all of this. And I feel like all those hardships that you go through, all those open calls, the job, your survival job that you're working, serving tables till 2 a.m. so you can pay your rent, that's all part of this New York starving artist lifestyle. But when you book your first gig, it's just going to make all of that more rewarding, right?
Yes. What questions do we have, Star Council? Caroline.
Yes. So for someone who's about to go study musical theater in college, what is one thing that they need to know before they walk into their first class?
Oh, it's been a long time since I was in college. Okay, so I guess what I would say is don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. In college, you're going to do a lot of things, maybe not a lot, but you're going to do a few things that you would don't want to do. Like, I hate improv. Oh my gosh, I hate improv classes, but they're going to make you do it. They're going to make you do things that are going to push you beyond your limits and beyond your little box that you're in, that you put yourself in. Don't be afraid to step outside of that box, to step outside of your comfort zone, because all of those things that you're doing, even if they may feel uncomfortable, they're going to make you that much better of an artist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ashley, anything else that you would like to share? You've done a lot, so.
I mean, I guess, first of all, use your resources, okay? Like, this is an incredible thing. Thank you, Lindsay, for doing this. I wish that we had had the Star Council and all of that whenever I was in high school. Lindsay, you're the bomb. The High School Musical Theater Awards, absolutely incredible organization. Use your resources. Add me on Facebook. Lindsay, if you want to give them my cell phone number, if you have questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you. I'm here to help. And I think, I don't know, just go for it. Pursue your dreams. Don't let anything get you down. And like I said, there's going to be disappointments and there's going to be a little bit of rejection. But if this is your passion, pursue it with every fiber of your being. You don't ever want to have regrets and say, well, what if I had moved to New York and tried this out? Don't live with regrets.
So could you talk a little bit about, because sometimes gigs there's time between. So talk about,
Yes.
finding your income and figuring out ways to, have an income.
Goodness. Well, I'm actually even still learning about this as well. We moved to New York about 1.5 years ago. So and Finding Neverland was my first gig that I booked after being here. So, and especially now we're all trying to find out, how as an artist, what do you do between gigs when you're not bringing in any income? If we pretend like coronavirus isn't a thing, back when things get back to normal, there are things you can do. Like I said, survival jobs. You can be a server. Another really cool job that there is out there, I have a couple of friends who do this. They sell merchandise at all the Broadway theaters. That's kind of a cool thing to do. Temp work is a thing. If you wanted to do something more like in the performance aspect of it, voiceover work is really great. That's where like all the money is. And if you're like, well, I've never done voiceover, how do I do it? There are tons of workshops and classes up here. Again, I can help you and hook you up with that, ways to go and learn how to do it. There are places like the Growing Studio and Actors Connection, or a couple places up here you can go and take workshops and classes. You can work at the front desk there, and that's great because then you're like meeting casting directors all the time, right? And agents and things like that. So there's plenty of opportunity to make money. If you ever needed help finding something, just use your resources, and I am one of those.
Awesome. Okay, so we end each episode with a series of questions modeled after James Lipton, God bless him, and from inside the Actors Studio. So I have my own version.
Okay.
So what food or beverage do you have to work successfully?
Diet Coke. 100%.
Okay. What's the first thing you pack when you're hitting the road? What goes in your suitcase first?
My makeup.
I knew that answer. What do you miss most about the South?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. My family. I miss my family more than anything right now, especially right now.
Yeah. All right, you touched on it a little bit, but favorite memory from the Orpheum?
Orpheum Star Search, because I remember being 13, 14 years old, being able to stand on that stage and sing with a live band in front of all those people. Forget it. It was incredible.
That's amazing. Okay, Star Council, Star Search was the first HSMTA.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, Star Search was the original, yes. And Ashley was a strong, wonderful, fabulous participant of that. I found an old poster with your face on it a while back.
Oh, those were the days.
Crazy. All right, so last thing. So the series is called In Their Shoes. You got to show us your shoes.
Oh my God, I forgot you told me to wear shoes.
You don't have
This
shoes
is what I
on,
have
girl?
on.
All right, house slippers are a thing. All
Is that a
good.
thing? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
That is so you. I love it.
Business on top, party on the bottom, right? We're working from home, okay?
I love it. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you so much.
time, your experience with us. And, you know, we're thinking about you. So glad you're staying.
Thank you so much. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to text me, Facebook me, email me. And Lindsay has all my contact info. I'm so happy to be a resource for any of you.
Thank you. You're the best. And
Thanks,
Star
Lindsay.
Council, for joining us. And tune in.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Next week, joining us will be Jose Alpazar, graduate of Collierville High School, and who also just came off a cruise line. And he'll be joining us next week. Tune in. Thanks, everybody.